Good night, good night, good night. Let me welcome you to this another episode of the Saudi Chris Show. Tonight is educational night. Hence, we talk educational content. However, tonight will be with a little difference. And it will be so different that the episode tonight will be short. Yes, and I hope that you actually join enough, or should I say, join on time. I know that the fans of the Saudi Crest show tend to join very late at night, especially after night. I try to make it as early as possible, but of course, today was a very, very long day for myself and the entire team for the Saudi Crest. There are so many things going on in the world of education, in the education sector tonight. But just to ask a few questions, that's what I'll all about tonight. So you can imagine it will be short. We won't get the answers because to the powers that be, we don't have them here tonight. But let me welcome you for joining us. Let me welcome all the first time viewers who join with us. And remember, if this is the first time you join, please ensure that you subscribe, like, and share the Saudi Crest channel. It's very important. And so you will help me to bring you all the content that you want, the content and the information that you solely deserve to know, especially here in our education system in Jamaica. So, what's happening? What's the latest? As you can recall, people, there's just a few weeks or maybe a few days ago that the JTA and the teachers of this nation who started a strike. Yes, they strike deserve what I say. It's in their own rights, in the teachers' rights to do so. But of course, with every action, there's a reaction. And so, what happened is that a number of teachers from several parishes who started the strike, and it should have continued. It went on for Thursday and Friday. It should have continued on Monday if there are no suitable response from the government. Of course, there was. So the teachers were asked to go back to work on Monday, while the JTA met with the Ministry of Labor. Of course, the Ministry of Education is the one who engaged the Ministry of Labor to get involved in the ongoing strike action by the nation teachers. But the question, what transpired from that meeting with the JTA and the Ministry of Labor? We have not heard anything. Well, personally, I have not gotten any information that I can say, yes, this came from the meeting, and so this is the way forward. Maybe things have been um, given out, information have been given out. But where the Saudi Crest show is concerned, maybe I'm a bit on the low key. I'm not sure, but I strongly believe that I would have gotten some information. But nothing yet. And so I beg your pardon, and I do apologize if there was a statement, a press conference, or information that has given to the nation based on that meeting. It must have been a serious situation, people, for the JTA to take industrial actions. Yes, months after the compensation package. It must. And so the question again, when will the JTA put out a release as it relates to the information, the way forward, or the gathering, whatever data, information our sources gathered from that meeting with the Ministry of Labor? Am I to understand that the Ministry of Education and also the Ministry of Finance has met with the JTA? The fact that there's little or no information coming, what are we to believe? So I'm calling on the president of the JTA and also the JTA executive, whoever, is charged to put out such release or information that comes from the details, more so the details of that meeting. It's very, very important. So right now, I'm not too sure where are we. But for those of you who do understand the importance of such information, I'm sure that you're concerned. All right, Sir Al. Sir Al joining us again. Of course, big up yourself, Al. Welcome back to the Saudi Press Show. And I do understand. Thank you very much for joining. So big up yourself, Saudi. You're doing good. Thank you very much, Sir Al. Blessings, blessings, blessings. So Al, there were so much things going on in Jamaica's education system, more so with the teachers. So there was a standoff between the teachers and the Ministry of Finance over the compensation package. So my question tonight, or questions rather, what transpired from that meeting with the Ministry of Labor and the JTA? Yes. When will the JTA come forward with some information? Trying to find a remote here. Yes, there are questions out there. And I've been asking these questions. Saudi Press has been on the situation where I've tried to get as much information as possible as it relates to that. Remember, I was very nosy in it. I tried my very best to get inside and we defended. A matter of fact, if there would have been a choice or a situation where individuals would have asked to take side, during that discussions, after the discussions, I would have leaned towards the JT. Even though, people, there are some persons out there believe that some higher level workers, but let me put it that way, in the education sectors are much comfortable. And so they don't care much about the lower level. And for those of you who know Saudi Crest and the Saudi Crest Show, we defend the teachers. Yes. And we try our best to bring across the information that is necessary to assist the teachers where necessary. We have a great respect for the education ministry, of course. That is where our livelihood comes from. And if it wasn't for love, respect, and nation buildings, many of us would have gone. Even though over the past couple of years we have seen a great influx of teachers migrating, I can assure the country, don't worry, all of us will never leave. All of us can't leave. And we will. The country will benefit from a lot of teachers, great teachers, experienced teachers. But the fact that some of us, some teachers, are dissatisfied, not just because of the mega salary people, but there are some conditions that needed to sort out to ensure that our teachers are satisfied. Our working conditions, yes? Outside of the salary. There are so many things going on. There are a number of teachers, who have said that they are not better off than before the compensation. The JTA, more so the JTA president, has alluded to the fact that many teachers, senior teachers, teachers who have given 20, 30 years to the system, has found themselves worse off. But what is interesting In recent comments by the Minister of Education, the Honorable Flavor Williams, she has said it clearly. You know what? Let me get it back. Let me repeat. The Honorable Favour Williams, my boss, the ministry who runs the Ministry of Education, she's the Minister of Education. And she has made it clear that many of what the president alluded to, many of the situations where teachers did not get their salaries or been paid short, was a lie. Yes, many of these situations were a lie based on what the minister says. A matter of fact, these are my words, people. But in the words of the minister, the JTA president was ill informed. She was misinformed. Why? She had brought to the nation's eyes and ears that a teacher who said that she received $6 and some change for her salary in March, the minister hit back to say nothing like that. She had put out a table showing what the teacher has received in March, April, and May. But to my surprise, people, the reasons why this teacher salary has been fluctuating over those 3 months, the minister is saying that the teacher is also a pre-trained teacher. Not just that she's a pre-trained teacher, but she has not yet submitted her transcript for her to get her right salary. No, this is strange to me. This is very, very strange. Why is it so strange? Why is it a strange situation for me, people? Why on earth that a teacher, or let me say an individual, is teaching, and listen now, I'm using the term individual, because there may be some others. And I say this to say, because I want to clear it, and I want to make this clear why I use the individual. She said that this person is a pre-trained teacher. And if memory serves me right, the Ministry of Education is doing away with pre-trained arrangements. Yes? So for some of you who have not understand or know what the pre-trained teacher is, she has no formal training. That is a pre-trained teacher. She has the capacity to extend herself to impart knowledge on our youngsters and even on our elders. Great. Not a problem. But the problem I found in this, a pre-trained teacher without teacher qualification and also without a transcript is being paid. She's getting a salary. Well, let me say he or she, that teacher. That's why I want to say the individual, because I'm not sure if it's a female or a male. But that individual received salary without teacher qualification and without a transcript. People, this is a question that needed to be answered. Are you hearing me? This is a question that needed to be answered. How comes? How comes do you have a teacher being paid without submitting teacher qualification or a transcript, and she has not been paid 1 month? Very, very strange indeed. So that's another part of the story that we ought to look into. That's another part of the story that we must understand. Yeah, man. We must understand that part of the story. It may be strange, or some persons out there, some of my viewers, you may not understand what I am saying. You may not understand. But the reality about this, there are so many things, so many issues came out in this one whole story. Or should I say, one small story. Maybe you could say just a chapter of the story. But the fact that the minister said that the JT has been misinformed, or there are some troublemakers out there giving wrong information, she has threatened to put across the payslips of the teachers who made those complaints. So the teacher's payslip will be published. So if I come next week and say, listen, my salary is short of 10, 5, 20,000, whatever the case is, and the minister found that it is not so based on her investigation, she threatened to display to the nation and to the world the payslip of such teacher. The question now, people, very, very interesting. Is that a legal action? Can the minister legally expose or display an individual payslip? Is that legal? Yes? Is it legal or no? We need some answers to that as well. Do we have any legal mind here can give us a little story? The reason why I asked though if it is legal, to my understanding, one's pay slip is private. Only the individual, except for those who create the system or made up the pay slip, the pay advice, has access or should have access to such information. Only them. So am I to believe that the minister have that access to? Or she'll just use her power to get that across? I don't want you to get me wrong either. I'm not saying that she doesn't have that power, And I'm not saying that she can't do that. The question I am asking, is that legal? Wouldn't that be trampling on the rights of the individual? I mean, if it was a situation that the teacher or the individual salary should be made public, that's not so. A matter of fact, the teachers of this country, the public sector workers of this country, have not no need to abide by such. So while there's a general output of what a teacher earns, it's a total different from what a teacher takes home. And let me put it this way. There's a general outlook, there's a general standard of what teachers, the gross salary of a teacher is. But the net pay of a teacher, or what the teacher takes home, cannot, eh? And I'm going to use it again. It cannot substantiate statements of this sort. You cannot compare teachers' net pay because the net pay would have been different based on what the teacher's priority or deductions are. So for you to come and expose that, the minister, I am just asking, is that legal? Or is it that you make such a statement because you're upset of some of these claims? And if the claims are false, you have a right to be upset. You have a right to speak. But I am not sure of the right to publicly display a teacher's pay advice or pay slip. But you know, Minister, what I want to ask as well, why is it took so long for us to hear something from the Ministry of Education as it relates to the salary situation among our teachers? Why is it? You, Minister, assist me here because you're my boss. Why is it that you took so long to make a statement? While I understand you have to listen, you have to get the facts right. But you could have come out and said, teachers, with all what is going on, let us have a talk. Let us discuss. That's all I'm saying, you know. Sometimes we in Jamaica, we react. We're not proactive. These are just my views. So these are some questions, people, that really, really need to be answered. Oh, yes. These are some questions. So again, when will we hear from the JTA? When next? Is it truth? Is it a fact that the JTA president and the JTA was misinformed in terms of salaries received? I would love to get those responses. And I'm sure you would like to get them as well. Is the Minister of Education have the legal right to publish one's pay advice? Let we know. Let we know. You know, there are some situations that we can look into. And I must say to you people, in education today, in education today, the primary exit profile performance task for grades 5 students started today. So this morning, the students sat 2 papers. Yes, language arts at 9, and later on, the sciences. Are there any teachers here who would like to share their experiences, what they believe? Share their experiences of what the students would have done. And when I say experience, I mean the views, especially hearing from your students after this exam. The performance task is a paper that is not so much familiar to our teachers either. And reasons for that, when it started, remember based on COVID and all of that, the performance task of the PEP was not, let me not use the term, not scrap, but was taken out of the paper. Why? Because of what the COVID left us with. You know, the COVID pandemic really put everything in a bother. But I must say, congratulations. I must say, kudos to the Ministry of Education, the assessment unit, who continue to put across a valid paper. So let me encourage all the students in grade 5, all the grade 5 students in Jamaica who are sitting this paper, who have sat the paper today. I hope you have done well. But also, coming tomorrow, I think tomorrow will be math and social studies. Let me encourage you as we pray. We do understand the struggles, we do understand the issues you're faced with. We know that you have lost so many learning opportunities. But to the teachers and the parents who are listening or watching this program, please extend my wishes to the students. Thank you. Another story, a big one. Mark Smith to be declared JTA president-elect. So Mark Smith is the principal of the Monroe College in St. Elizabeth, people. So he will be the next JTA president. He's the JTA president who will serve the year 24-25. So that's what is called JTA president-elect. Ladies and gentlemen, I will do all my very best. I want to have Mr. Mark Smith here with you for us next week. And I will go out to have Mr. Mark Smith, because guess what? The JTA has lost some grounds. And I think Mr. Smith have a very, very decent time, a decent situation now to make things better with the JTA. Based on the struggles, based on the quarrels, based on what is happening, a lot of teachers threatened to take away or to have themselves remove their membership from the JTA. Some have done so already. So, Mr. Smith, you have a perfect opportunity. Yes, to start working now and to ensure that you get back the sanity of the JTA. And I use the term sanity because some of what has been going on, we need to get it right. So, Mr. Smith, again, I am looking forward to you, sir, as the new president. And why so? And people, I don't know nothing about Mr. Smith. I don't know the man personally either. He's a colleague. And he is the president-elect. He will be declared very soon, you know. So, what can we expect from a new president? What can we expect from a new president? You know, the president will take over the reign for the 23-24. Mr. Leighton Johnson, am I right? He has a lot of work to do. Not to mention, yes, not to mention the explanation of him signing off on the teacher's behalf after the president walk away from such activity. Based on constitution, based on the rules of the JTA, how it is governed, he could have done so, yes, and he did. But there's still an underlying issue. Why was that so? Again, I'm calling on Mr. Johnson. You have a big job ahead of you, sir. And as much I'm not sure if you will be able to be in a negotiation period or a negotiation session, there is much more to do than the negotiate aspect of the JTA. Much, much more. And many of us as teachers, even persons watching and listening in, fail to understand that the negotiation of salaries is just one aspect of the job of the JTA, as it is called, a union. Well, a matter of fact, I'm not too sure JTA is a union. Let me clarify that. And why I say that, because it is named the Jamaica Teachers Association. Is there a major difference between association and union? I'm saving those questions. I'm not going to ask much more. Hopefully, people, I'll get Mr. Smith on. So, Mr. Mark Smith, congratulations. And I hope that you will get the job done, sir. You will find the power, the strength to revitalize, to motivate the teachers that you represent. I am extending an interview to you, sir, for next week, Wednesday. If you're not watching, I'm sure somebody will extend that to you. But I'll definitely reach out to you personally. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where I leave you tonight. Just the questions. And again, let me ask, what transpired from the meeting with the JTA and the Ministry of Labor after the teachers ended the strike? Because that was the reason. When will the JTA, when will the JTA put out the information that was received or the settlement? When? We're still waiting. The other question, is the Minister of Education have a legal right to display teachers' payslip? Outside of the power that she has, is it legal? Just asking, I'm not sure. Those are the questions that I've asked tonight. When will we get these answers? Just continue. Continue to join the Saudi Crest Show. Subscribe, like, and share, and enjoy yourself. Thank you for joining. And you'll see me this Friday. This Friday, live and direct, coming from the Saudi Crest TV with sports. Thank you. Have a good